Hello friends. So far we have discussed about the basics of network layer, control plane, data plane, best effort service model of network layer and routing architecture. Now in this part we will explore the internet protocol and datagram formats in detail. So far our discussion of network layer addressing and forwarding was without any reference to any computer's network. That is, we have discussed it is in general context. Now we will focus our attention to how addressing and forwarding are done in internet specifically. We will explore to see how internet addressing and forwarding are important component of internet protocol IP. Basically, there are two versions of IP in use today, and we will first examine the widely deployed IP protocol version 4, which is popularly referred as IPv4. We will explore the IP version 6 referred as IPv6, which was originally been proposed to replace IP4 in later part. But before jumping directly onto IP, it is imperative to first explore what are the main components that makes up the internet's network layer. As shown in the illustration here, the internet's network layer has four major components. First, IP protocol. It is the first and the foremost component which we will explore here. The second major component is the routing protocol, which determines the path of datagram follows from source to destination. As mentioned earlier in our discussion, the routing protocol computes the forwarding table that are used to forward the packets through the network, which forms the third important component of network layer, that is forwarding table. The final component of network layer is ICMP protocol, a facility to report errors in datagram and responds to the request for certain network layer information. We will cover the Internet's routing protocol and the Internet's control message protocol, that is ICMP, in succeeding session. Before diving directly on Internet protocol, we will first explore the syntax and the semantics of network layer packet, which is referred as datagram. Datagram plays a central role in the internet. Hence, it is imperative to know the intrinsic details of each and every bit of datagram. The IPv4 datagram format is depicted in the figure. The key fields in the IPv4 datagram basically consist of first the version number, IP protocol version number. This 4-bit specifies the IP protocol version of the datagram. By looking at the version number, the router can determine how to interpret the remainder of IP datagram. Different versions of IP uses different datagram formats. The datagram format for the current version of IP, that is IPv4 version 4, is shown in the diagram, and we will see the datagram format for the new versions of IP, that is IPv6, in later part of the session. The next field is header length. Because an IPv4 datagram can contain variable length of options which are included in the IPv4 datagram header. These 4 bits are needed to determine where in the IP datagram the data actually begins. Most IP datagram do not contain this option. So the typical IP datagram has a 20 byte header. The third important component is the type of services. The type of services bit were included in IPv4 header to allow different types of IP datagram. For example, datagram particularly required for low delay, high throughput, or high reliability, etc. to distinguish from each other. For example, it might be useful to distinguish real-time datagrams such as those used for telephony application from the non-real-time traffic. For example, those used for FTP. The specific level of services to be provided is a policy issue determined by the router's administrator. The third important part is the length, that is datagram length. This gives the total length of IP datagram, that is header plus the actual data, and it is measured in bytes. Since this field is 16-bit long, the theoretical maximum size of the IP datagram could be 2:16, that is 65535 bytes. However, datagrams are rarely larger than 1500 bytes. The next field is 16-bit identifier, flags, and fragment offset. These three fields have to do with so-called IP fragmentation, which we will explore next in depth. Note that the new versions of IP protocol, that is IP6, does not allow for fragmentation at router. The next field is time to live. Time to live, that is TTL, field is included to ensure that datagrams do not circulate forever. For example, long-lived routing loops. This field is decremented by 1 each time the datagram is processed by a router. If the TTL field reaches 0, at that instance of time, datagram must be dropped. It is simply a counter which is decremented by 1 at each router when it processes it. When the value of TTL field is 0, at that time the life of that particular datagram is over and that datagram is bound to drop. The next bit is protocol. That is, this field is used only when IP datagram reaches its final destination. The value of this field indicates the specific transport layer protocol to which the data portion of this IP datagram should be passed. It means when the datagram reaches the destination, this particular listing, that is the name of the protocol, indicates specific transport layer protocol to which the data portion of this IP datagram should be passed to. For example, value 6 indicates that the data portion is passed to TCP, or if the value is 17, that is 17, it indicates that the value is passed to UDP. It will simply indicates to whom that this particular data is meant for, whether it is TCP protocol or UDP protocol or any other protocol which is implemented at transport layer. The role of protocol number in IP datagram is analogous to the role of port number field in the transport layer segment. I repeat, the role of protocol number in the IP datagram is analogous to that of role of port number field in the transport layer segment. The protocol number is the glue that binds network and transport layer together. Here this protocol number simply used to bind the network and transport layer together, whereas the port number is act as glue that binds the transport and application layer together. The next field is header checksum. The header checksum helps a router in detecting bit errors in the received IP datagram. The header checksum is computed by treating each 2 bytes in the header as a number and summing these numbers using 1's complement arithmetic, which is stored in this checksum field. We had already explored the checksum mechanism in our earlier session. After calculating the checksum, that value is stored here in checksum field. A router computes the header checksum for each received IP datagram and detects an error condition if the checksum carried in the datagram header does not equal to the computed checksum. If there is a difference in the checksum computed by the router and the value which is already present in the datagram, it indicates there is an error. And router typically discards those datagrams for which an error hasn't been detected. Note that checksum must be recomputed and stored again at each router as TTL field and other option fields changes at each router. The next field is source and the destination IP addresses. These are both 32-bit source and destination IP addresses. When a source creates a datagram, it inserts its IP address into the source IP address field and inserts the address of the ultimate destination into the destination IP address field. Source inserts its own address here in the source IP address field and the destination address field is inserted in this field. Often the source host determines the destination address via DNS lookup. The next field is option. As name indicates, the option field allows IP header to be extended. Header options were meant to be used rarely. Hence, the decision to save overheads by not including the information in the option field in every datagram header is with the administrator. However, the mere existence of the option does complicates matter since datagram header can be of variable length. One cannot determine a priori where the data field will start. Also, since some of the datagrams may require option processing and other may not, the amount of time needed to process IP datagram at router can vary greatly. The last and the most important field is the data field. That is also called as payload. Payload is the actual data in the datagram. In most circumstances, the data field of the IP datagram contains the transport layer segment, that is TCP or UDP, to be delivered to the destination. However, The data field can carry other types of data such as ICMP message also. One thing to be noted here, the IP datagram has a total 20 bytes of header, assuming no option field. If the datagram carries a TCP segment, then each non-fragmented datagram carries total 40 bytes of header, 20 bytes out of TCP packets and 20 bytes from the IP, means this particular fields without option. That is, each datagram carries total of 40 bytes of header along with the application layer message. 20 bytes of TCP plus 20 bytes of these fields plus the actual data. Means each and every datagram is having 40 bytes of overhead along with the actual application layer data. These are the most important fields that constitutes the IP datagram format, and each and every field mentioned over here plays a vital role in routing and forwarding the packet from one router to next, which we will see in our next session. In this session, we have covered the major components of IP, that is Internet Protocol. Along with, we have also explored the detailed format of datagram packet. Next, we will discuss how fragmentation and reassembly of the packet took place in network layer. Thank you. Thank you very much.